Hello and thank you for tuning in. So today's video is about this couple. We've got here Alan John Miller on the right, and on the left we've got Mary Luck, also known as Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. Okay, so let me explain. This is an Australian couple, and Alan John Miller claims that he is the living Jesus Christ, the same Jesus Christ who was crucified on the cross 2,000 years ago, supposedly rose from the dead according to Christianity, and ascended to the heaven to be with his Father, part of the one person of the Holy Trinity, co-equal with God, and he's now risen back. He has now been reborn back into the body, back into a human body, as Jesus Christ through Alan John Miller. So I'll just briefly tell you how this came about. So Alan John Miller is a fairly successful businessman. I believe that he's in the computer business, and at 31 years old he claims that he started dreaming that he'd had nails driven through his hands and feet, and as time went on he started to believe that he was Jesus Christ, that he was in fact the living Jesus. At 41 years old, he decided to come out with this, and he told his two sons, I believe that he was divorced at this time. At 41 years old, he told his sons, and they accepted it, or at least they just accepted that he believed it. And then he came out and told all his friends. His friends were very hostile to him and shunned him. He lost all his friends effectively, but nevertheless he went around telling his story, preaching, etc., etc. And eventually he was invited to the house of two atheists, two very, very hardcore atheists, hard-nosed atheists, whose surname is Luck, oddly enough, and who had a daughter, or have a daughter, by the name of Mary. Now at that time she was 28 years old, and she was living with them. She says that she found it quite a reclusive lifestyle living with them, that they were very reserved emotionally, and she suffered from depression. So along comes Alan John Miller, also known as Jesus Christ, self-proclaimed Jesus Christ, and they wanted to know what his philosophy was. So he sat down with them, he explained to them who he was and how he saw life, what he thought man's relationship with God was, and what the best way to go about increasing this relationship was. As a result of that, he then went away. He contacted Mary by letter, I think, or by email, informing her that in fact her real name is Mary Magdalene. They've known each other for thousands of years, and that her true place is with him as Jesus Christ. She accepted that, much to the disappointment of her parents, and went to live with him, and they became a couple. And so for the last 10 years or so, they've been living together and spreading the word, mainly via their YouTube channel, but also by giving seminars, etc. And I'm going to play a video now where they comment on the issue of whether they actually charge to listen to what people have got to say. So let's have a listen to that video, and then I'll come back. Okay, so here we go for a quick clip. They've got two YouTube channels. One is Divine Truth, the other one is Divine Truth FAQ. This is from Divine Truth FAQ, and by the way, comments are turned off for all their videos, and I believe that likes and dislikes are also turned off. So let's have a listen to what they say.
One key warning sign for a cult is that they ask for money for everything that they do.
Yeah.
Does anyone who listens to you have to pay money?
No, not at all. No one who listens to us has to pay any money at all. And there are many people who listen to us who are even proud of the fact that they've never paid any money or donated any money to us. And if I was you, if I was one of those persons, I'd have a good look at their thankfulness for what we do. Yeah. But we don't pressure people to pay money for anything. And in fact, we don't pressure people to pay money at all. There's no pressure at all. Even when you go along to a seminar, as I've said, money is not hardly even mentioned aside from us thanking people for their donations. And as a result, people are not solicited for their funds or anything like that. And this is what I find quite interesting, is a lot of people find that very suspicious, because what's normal for most people is that somebody's always soliciting something. We've got telephone marketers who ring you up soliciting you for something, and every single interaction you generally have in a business related sense is soliciting you for something and some payment in return. And when we don't require a payment in return for the gifts that we offer, and most people become really suspicious, as if there's some other hidden hook or something like that. And I can assure people there is no hidden hooks with regard to what we do. We just present the information. What you do with it is up to you. Most of the people who listen to our information we've never met, and most of the people, the majority of people who listen to our information, have never donated to us at all, in fact.
And it's also true, isn't it, that a lot of the donations we receive, we don't know where they come from.
Correct. Obviously the person says a name or something like that, but in the seminars, all of the donations are anonymous, and so we have got no idea who donates.
Okay, so that's enough then. Just to recap, so they don't solicit money, but they do get donations, mainly anonymous donations. Okay, so let's just go back to the video. Okay, so there we can see, okay, well, let's call him Jesus. There we can see Jesus saying that they don't pressurize, they don't ask for money, but they do get money. They get donations which are unsolicited. They get them by PayPal, they get direct bank transfers, etc., etc. And that's not too surprising, because anybody who's running any kind of religious organization do get donations. That's just a fact. They get unsolicited donations, and I've got no comment to make on that. My real concern about this is, no matter how ridiculous a claim may seem to be, you have to sort of steady yourself and pretend it's not ridiculous just for a moment and evaluate it. So what evidence has Alan John Miller presented that he's the living Jesus? Now, obviously, me as an atheist, I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe it's made its burden of proof. So him saying that he's the living Jesus and that this lady is Mary Magdalene would require, if that could be established and proven, it wouldn't be that far off convincing me that Christianity is true, or it would at least move me closer towards Christianity if he could prove that he was the living Jesus. So what evidence has he presented? Reading his story, the only thing that I can find, the only evidence seems to be his self-assertion that he is Jesus and that he had these dreams and that he felt for a long time that he was Jesus. And the only evidence I can find for this being Mary Magdalene is that he said it is so, that Alan John Miller declared that she was Mary Magdalene, and he did not give any further evidence, and she seems to have accepted this for whatever reason, on that basis alone, just because he said it. So he has apparently made some predictions. He's predicted that there's going to be a 10-foot or 10-meter tsunami, which is going to absolutely drench huge parts of Australia. And he's predicted that there are going to be cataclysmic events similar to those portrayed in the film 2012. And he's telling us that we should prepare for those events. But I can't find any other evidence. I've looked at his YouTube channel. It seems to be mostly self-help or sort of therapy type videos, how to love your partner more, how to be honest in a relationship, how to love God more, how to have humility, etc., etc. I can't find anything in any of his videos. Okay, I haven't looked at all of them, of course, and there are a lot. There are 1,000. And it seems that it's just that he has asserted that he is Jesus Christ and that she is Mary Magdalene, and he's offered no further evidence. So on that basis, I would have to say that I don't believe that he's Jesus Christ, and I don't believe that she is Mary Magdalene risen. These are not two people reincarnated or born again of real people who existed or purportedly existed 2,000 years ago. So that's it, really. No, I don't believe his claims. I don't believe he's Jesus. And obviously the vast bulk of Christians in the world have also rejected his claims that he is Jesus. If he is Jesus, if he's the biblical Jesus, and there's anything true about the miracle claims in the New Testament, I would expect him to be drawing crowds and doing great deeds, walking on water, turning a few fishes and loaves, multiplying them thousands of times over. So I would expect to see some spectacular, miraculous feats. And I would also expect him to be presenting himself in, this would not be, it would nowhere be. I would expect him to be presenting information that the human race could not have known. Something about the origin of the universe, God's part in the universe. Is it a deistic God? Is it the Trinity? Well, of course, he's saying that it is the Trinity. He has specifically mentioned the Trinity. So he's a Trinitarian Christian. But he hasn't supplied any further interesting details. He's supplied no other details than any other human being could supply. So again, on that basis, it looks to me like just a man who is making a claim without any evidence or justification, and either he really believes he is Jesus and he's deluded, or he's being dishonest. He knows he's not Jesus, or he really is Jesus, but for some strange reason he just hasn't presented any kind of real evidence to prove that. That's about it, really. As for Mary and her acceptance of this, how could one account for that? She said that she was lonely and depressed, living with her parents. She's 28 years old, and this charismatic figure comes along, pays attention to her, tells her that she's this special person, and she decided to go along with it. She believes him, or she's pretending to believe in him. I don't know. Who knows? But who knows what her motivation is. They seem to be a very happy couple. They seem to love each other. They seem to be living a very happy life. So, but from what I've seen, there's not sufficient evidence to establish any credibility for their claims. There are some YouTube videos on them, independent YouTube videos and various articles about them on the internet. I'm sure if you're interested, you might want to go and look those up. But no, he's closer, for me, he's closer to being a Jesus freak than an actual Jesus. So that's all. I hope you found that interesting. Thank you to Abbas Luciel for putting me onto this story. I'll be back again with another video very soon. Bye for now.